Now, I don't know if I have a tab playing somewhere. Hello, welcome to Friday Streams. My name is Kamga, and I am trying to figure out where I put these links. I don't think it's here. It's not here either. Let me see. I guess we just have to copy and paste. There you go. It is, isn't it? Definitely is. I found this. What caught my attention on the music was the title was, what was the title? I don't think I saw the title. Jesse Brown is a Canadian pianist, composer, and recording artist who alchemizes heavy emotions into intimate recordings on the studio's custom-treated Heinzmann upright piano. I think that was minimal piano or something, and it just caught my attention. I was like, that's pretty cool, you know. How are you doing, Liz? Are you working today? I'm sure you have work in like 5 minutes or something. The music definitely is calming. Now that I mention it, as I'm paying attention to it and actually singing, it's pretty nice. Awesome. Do you want to join me live so we'll just talk a little bit while we wait for the rest of the crew to come in? Last week I had Ade as well as Michael on the stream. So if you would like, if you're okay with that, I can send you the link and then we chat a little bit while we're getting things in order. Because for the next 1 hour, I am all here streaming with StreamYard and tag many of your social media platforms. I am currently streaming on Twitter and Facebook right now. It's this is StreamYard I'm using. Yeah, I am using StreamYard. The thing is, I don't know if I'm intentional about it enough, or if maybe the time that I'm picking doesn't work, or the subject, or I need to market more. But yeah. If you go to the Facebook page, we go to Twitter, you see it ongoing. So right now it's live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I actually wanted to do lives only on YouTube, but I changed my mind. I feel like I should be listening to this piano every single day. How's your baby girl and your husband? I saw you guys have been enjoying. Cool. Let me send you the link. So you guys have been enjoying the summer, spring, or summer. I don't even know if it's summer or spring yet. But all right. Here's the link. That is awesome. Good to know. Yeah, I see you in there. Let me know when you're ready. Are you ready? Hey, Liz.
Hi.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. I'm in the kitchen.
What are you cooking?
I want to make some porridge.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I'm about to start work, so I want to prepare something for my daughter, who also wants to say hi.
Hey.
Want to say
hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well.
Okay, I don't understand that, but that's awesome.
She said I'm well.
Oh, you're well. That is interesting. My mind just went straight to I'm fine, but you're well. That is nice.
How are you?
Oh, so far so good. Woke up late, trying to drink coffee here to stay alive, and yeah, it's been a very short night. I was watching a movie last night. I've been waiting for the whole year, so it came out, and I started watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna go to bed, Masa. I can't sleep. But eventually, I still slept late anyway. So, but yeah, I'm alright.
I found something else.
Okay.
What
So
did you find?
Mommy, I found something else.
Okay. So your days off are always Friday and Sunday?
No, it's now Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I work 10 hours for 4 days, and then I'm off for 3 days. So I'm usually just very tired, like just tired all the time. But yeah, so I actually have work today in an hour or so. Yeah.
Okay. When you're working from home, it's really nice.
It
Because
has
like
its perks.
now, I have only like 10-15 minutes to log in, but it's fine because I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I don't have to worry about driving or getting late. So all I need is 5 minutes to log
That is awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out, Liz. I know you have to finish cooking and then get to work, so I really appreciate the time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Alright.
So I thought you were not using StreamYard, so I'm glad you are.
Yeah, I started using StreamYard and I paid for it because I realized how cool it was. It's just so easy. Like the music I'm sharing is through StreamYard, everything. So it's just way easier. I guess in the future I want to pay for the full thing and be able to put it everywhere else. So right now it's just 3 platforms.
Okay, I use the cheapest package.
Yeah.
I pay for the cheapest package as well.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
So when I go live, I'm live on Facebook, and that's it. Because Twitter, I'm not so. I think I don't even know how to use it, but I'm there. I have an account, and I'm not. I don't
All
know.
these platforms, it's like you have to learn. Like people are winning everywhere. It's one of the things you cannot be everywhere. So you have to figure out like, okay, where can I work well and put my foundation, and then you can
Yeah.
spread out to other things. So for now, Twitter is just there because I use it, I like it, but I'm not exactly banking on it. So my priority is
Right.
YouTube. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
So when I go live, I have a page. I have a Facebook page, and then I have an account, like a regular account. So I just go live on those two, and then of course my YouTube, and that's it. So I thought you were not using StreamYard, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you should think about, because before I didn't know about it, and then until one day I was watching and I said, wow, this is great, this is nice. And I like to do interviews with different people. So this has really made my life so easy.
Yes.
Because you
100%.
can mute yourself, put the guest on full screen and go do your thing,
Go
come
get
back
up.
and be like, hey, what were we talking about? And nobody would know that you were even,
Yeah, it's just so
away.
efficient. It's just so efficient. I completely agree. We should definitely do a conversation one and talk about these content creation tools that we find. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
let you
we
go on.
shall. Okay. So I gotta go. I just wanted to say hi.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. We'll talk. Definitely.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Michael. Welcome. I saw your message while I was talking with Liz. And yeah, hello. How are you doing today? We're doing the stream to talk about writing. And I was hoping Victor, I think Michael, was it Michael or Victor asked the question last time? I don't remember last time about writing was, how do you become a better writer? So what I thought we could do, let me start this thing again over here. All right. I think the music should have been significantly lowered right now. Trying to get the right audio. I have an article here that we're going to be going through. I'm going through for myself because I need to get better at writing. I haven't written properly. Oh yeah, awesome, Michael. Yes. I'm glad you're here. I really wanted to do this thing because I started writing. Oh, you agree? It's nice, really nice to hear. I have started doing a daily newsletter. That's the link on the screen here, somewhere here. So this is it. Keep forgetting where to point. So I've already sent 2 of these newsletters, and I need to get better at writing because I feel like I've lost my writing muscle. I think writing is like every muscle. If you don't exercise it, it atrophies. Is it atrophies or atrophies? No, I cannot speak English, but that's not the point. When you're writing, you don't need to speak; you can just write. I can spell it, so it's okay. But anyway, I've been working on getting better at writing because I spent so long without writing that I feel like I've lost my ability to communicate my ideas clearly. And so today's stream is really about becoming a better writer. And I want to start by sharing an article from. I'm going to stop this music. I'm going to move straight to sharing that. Michael, since you're here, it's all we need. We're going to get to the meat of the matter. The meat of the matter. Let me share the tab, give some background, some context, and then I'll share why I picked this particular article. Maybe we'll, share more different ones. Maybe, maybe not. No, this is too big. Yeah, the focus is on the article. Cool. So, a little context before we get to that. In 2011, I started writing on a blog called Kamga has a blog. I think the blog is still existing right now. Just left it out there. It's like a free WordPress blog that nobody reads. And what was I writing? I was writing poetry, I was writing stories about heartbreaks, I was writing stories about my difficulties, just I was just expressing myself on the platform. And that was how the blog started because I came across this man whose article I'm about to read called James Altucher. And James Altucher has had a huge influence in the direction that my life has taken when it comes to like career choices because if you watch some of the videos I made on the channel, when I finished doing the sciences, I did not really want to study the sciences, but I eventually got my advanced level degree in sciences. When I went to college, I did biochemistry for 1 year, failed, restarted, medical laboratory science for 3 years, failed, restarted, and then did journalism. I finally finished that. And the reason why I did journalism was actually because I came across some pieces of content by James Altucher, and so a couple of things clicked. I didn't know that it was possible to write the way he writes. I didn't know it was possible to use your own personal stories and be, self-deprecating in a way that was not necessarily humiliating, and still share life lessons and still learn and still grow. And so when I found that kind of writing from James Altucher, I fell in love with it. And I started writing my own. I started my own blog and got to that. So I started writing for the love of writing, honestly. So in 2011 and 2014, 15, before I even, I was writing a lot. I gained a sort of pseudo popularity as a writer on the internet, non-fiction mostly, like personal development type writing, because that's really what I needed. And depending on where I was in my life, whether I was, heartbreak situation or career situation, my writing reflected a lot of that. And so whenever I've consumed so much content from this guy that when I think of particular things like how to become an idea machine, how to become a better writer, I always go to his articles because the way he shares his knowledge has helped me particularly to learn and to grow. So James Altucher was chosen because he's like the guy that I go to for writing. And even one of my other favorite YouTubers slash writer, actually writer slash YouTuber, Ayodeji Awosika, also considers James Altucher as his kind of digital mentor. I don't know if it's the main one or something, but yeah. So I thought I would share, a little backstory about why James Altucher and share this story because I've read this article multiple times, honestly. But it's such a long time that I think, not even I think, I'm sure I've forgotten the lessons of the article. So let's read it. 33 unusual tips to being a better writer. Back in college, Sanket and I would hang out in bars and try to talk to women, but I was horrible at it. Nobody would talk to me for more than 30 seconds, and every woman would laugh at all his jokes for what seemed like hours. Even decades later, I think they are still laughing at his jokes. One time he turned to me, the girls are getting bored when you talk. Your stories go on too long. From now on, you need to have to leave out every other sentence when you tell a story. I feel like that's like the first piece of advice. Leave out every other sentence when you tell the story. We were both undergrads in computer science. I haven't seen him since, but that's the most important writing and communicating advice I ever got. Let's most of us stop there and even see a little bit. Leave out every other sentence. What do you think? What do you think from that first piece? I mean, he has 33 points that are about to come, so I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that introduction. If anything, it's like the way he starts the story. Just look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Each paragraph has not more than 1, 2, 3, 4. He is the longest paragraph of 4 sentences. Every other one is like 1 sentence per paragraph. 2 sentences. Anyway, leave out every other sentence. All right, let's do it. A, write whatever you want. Write whatever you want. Then take out the first paragraph and the last paragraph. Here's the funny thing about this rule. It's sort of like knowing the future. You still can't change it. In other words, even if you know this rule and write the article will still be better if you take out the first paragraph and the last paragraph. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Where I've seen it happen where, I mean, put it this way. When I start writing a lot of my, things that I'm writing now, including my newsletters I'm writing, a lot of the things that come out first are things that should not have been there. And if I take them out, they usually help. I think. B, take a huge bowel movement every day. You won't see that on any other list on how to be a better writer. If your body doesn't flow, then your brain won't flow. Eat more food if you have to. I think that's pretty decent practical advice for like daily living. If you want to be able to be better at anything, take a huge bowel movement every day. C, bleed in the first line. Let me see what he said here. Look at that. This is the first line. He actually follows his own advice. Back in college, Sankit and I were hanging out in bars and tried to talk to women, but I was horrible at it. Like literally, he tells you straight up, bleed in the first line. Well, let's see what bleeding actually means. We are all human. A computer can win Jeopardy. Computer can win Jeopardy, but still not write a novel. If you want people to relate to you, then you have to be human. So I guess this is the part where things get tricky because it's something that I'm trying to figure out myself. I used to do it pretty well, or at least I used to feel like I was making progress when I was doing it in the past. But when I moved and started dealing with the idea of immigration and writing about immigration and writing about relationships and things, I feel like I put myself in this box where I couldn't think about anything else or think outside of it. And I was constrained by what people would say about my writing, right? So, yeah. Penelope Trunk started the post a few years ago. I smashed a lamp a few weeks ago. I smashed a lamp over my head. There was blood everywhere and glass, and I took a picture. That's literally that's real bleeding. That's real bleeding. My wife recently put up a post where the first line was so painful she had to take it down. Too many people were crying. Wow, that's the kind of isn't that the kind of problem you want to have as a writer, where your writing is so powerful that people are upset or feel something so strong. But hey, let's go. D, don't ask for permission. In other words, never say in my opinion or words in my humble opinion. We know it's your opinion. You're writing it. It's something that needs to figure out. I do a lot of I think, or there's a lot of doubt in my writing. I just want to see from a third perspective, from a third, party view. And I think that it shows. Something I need to work on. Don't ask for permission, because when you're afraid of what you're going to say, you feel like you need to ask for permission to say what you have to say. And if I understand this point clearly, it's about we know it's your opinion. We know it's my opinion, so I should just write it. E, write a lot. Now this one is why I'm starting this newsletter. This is the reason why I'm doing a daily newsletter, because I need to write a lot. I feel like I'm just starting to learn how to write now, and I have to really get back to understanding, to getting into the flow, like loosening the muscle, adding some new movements, and then actually taking the technical aspects of writing and implementing them in writing. And for me to be able to get there, I need to do the warm up. So I feel like the next couple of months, say like 2-3 months, if I'm able to write consistently for the next 6 months, there is no way my writing is not going to improve. I mean, if it doesn't improve, then I'm either very untalented or I'm in trouble. So we'll see. Write a lot. I spent the entire 90s writing bad fiction, 5 bad novels, thousands of bad stories, but I learned to handle massive rejection. Now, this is something that I need to work on. Definitely. Getting no every single day. Damn. Because even when it comes to my YouTube videos, what I realized is that, or at least to a certain extent, I don't make as much videos as I could because I'm afraid of what people are going to say. And so because I don't do that, I never get enough rejection to get comfortable rejection to actually improve my quality of work. So it's like a self-fulfilling cycle of failure where, because I don't put in the effort to do as much while I'm not yet ready to do it, I never get the impetus to do as much to improve my quality and skill. And what he's saying about writing makes so much sense, like you need to be able to learn to handle massive rejection. You need to be able to put out articles. You need to be able to do live streams, and people don't show up. And you deal with the fact that you start asking, like, okay, is this something that you really want to do because you want to do it, or are you just doing it because people are watching? Like, what is your reason here? And I think it's something that, I keep saying that a lot. I think it's something that. But anyway, I spent the entire 90s writing bad fiction, 5 bad novels, dozens of bad stories. But I learned how to handle massive rejection and how to put 2 words together. In my head, I won the Pulitzer Prize, but in my hand, over 100 rejection letters. My friend Tchassa, I interviewed him on the channel. He's currently doing an MFA in Texas. And he's had so many rejections that he doesn't care about rejection anymore. And it's because he's had all those rejections that he's able to write with the confidence that he has. He has published in like really cool magazines and writes like stories that I would probably never be able to write because they're so not even niche. They're so, I want to say elite, sounds like Mark, but because he's been able to put out his work and be willing to take no multiple times, he's gotten to a point where he doesn't care anymore. And that's something that I think anybody who wants to become a better writer needs to work on. I'm taking this advice myself, by the way. Like, even if nobody's watching this video, I know I need to write a lot. And that's okay. It's okay, hombre. F, read a lot. Now, this one, I think I have this one covered. even though I don't read it. I don't read what I should be reading when I should be reading. I read what I like to read. If you can't write without first reading a lot. When I was writing 5 bad novels in in a row, I would read all day long whenever I wasn't writing. I had a job as a programmer which I could do for about 5 minutes a day because my programs all work and I just had to maintain them. I read everything I could get my hands on. You can probably see I have way more books than I'll probably ever read in my lifetime, digitally at least. So what I'm trying to do now is to find a way to read the books that I have physically. So I do read a lot. I read a lot of my books, and definitely to make more time to read. Actually, I think I watch more YouTube than reading, so I probably have to switch that time. Actually, get to reading. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, next. Read before you write. Now, this is something that I've not actively done. Before I write every day, I spend 30 to 60 minutes reading high quality short stories, poetry, or essays. Here are some of the authors to start. Dennis Johnson. I read this one on my Kindle, Jesus' Son. It was very strange. I feel like the more I read I guess also Western fiction, the more I want to read African fiction because a lot of the stories, the way they are written and the context of the stories, like I was speaking with in a clubhouse room that I organized on Saturdays, and Bessie was a friend. She was talking about the fact that a lot of the books that she saw as a kid did not provide the context that she wanted as an African reader, and that's why she, didn't really like reading them. And so when I read Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson's collection of short stories, it was interesting, but it left me clueless as to what to even learn from them. Miranda July, David Foster Wallace. I haven't read any David Foster Wallace. I've seen the movie though. It means I don't know who Ariel is. William Volkman, Raymond Carver. I think may have. I'm not sure. All of the writers were in the top 1,000 percentile of 1% writers. What you're reading has to be that level, or else you won't lift up your writing at all. So now, question now is who decides which writers are in this level? I guess you have to figure out a way to find out those writers. H, coffee. I go through 3 cups of coffee at least before I even begin to write. No coffee, no creativity. I saw a tweet, somebody was trying to quit coffee. Hey, hello. Emerson, welcome to the stream. I'm going through an article here about writing, trying to learn how to write better. And I thought I was on my own, so I've just been yapping here, and I just saw your comment. So thanks for leaving a comment. If you have any questions, you have any concerns, you have anything you have to point out, I'm more than happy to share my perspective. So today's stream is really about becoming a better writer. And I'm going through the article by James Altucher here, who has been a huge influence in my writing, especially in the past. I'm trying to tap into that influence again and see what I can learn. So we were at H, which is coffee. Currently drinking my coffee now. And I was trying to explain that I saw a tweet, somebody was trying to quit coffee. And there was one particular tweet that stood out for me where somebody recommended you can either A, go cold turkey, or B, stick with coffee and realize that some people, massive successful people in life who have been able to leverage coffee to do things like. So I don't think I need coffee to depend to. I like the taste, honestly. Like I like the bitter taste. I quit sugar, so my coffee is actually black, no sugar, nothing. I just enjoy the taste. I think it's the same way adults in Cameroon enjoy beer. It's like I don't like the taste of it, but people like it, so it doesn't make sense to me, Hey, Michael, thank you. Yeah, It felt like I was talking by myself, which thank you for letting me know. Good to know. At least I'll pay more attention now and stop making my own inside jokes and laughing here by myself. So, coffee. I don't know about this one. I think it's coffee is nice for those who want to drink it. If you want to drink it, it's nice too. Not everybody needs it. Okay. Break the laws of physics. Okay, what's this one? There's no time in text. Nothing has to go in order. Oh. This is something that sounds common sense, but it's not. Don't make it nonsense. Like I can follow with that. But don't be beholden to the laws of physics. My post advice I want to tell my daughters as an example. We're not going to read that post today, but the link to this, let me actually just I'll share the link to this in the comments once it's done so they can read it for your own. And you can see a lot of the articles. He's written a lot of things about writing, about building a business, about authenticity. Like he's written multiple articles, really cool articles for years. So yeah. Jay, be honest. Ooh. This is the one that actually personally attracted me to James, and the one that I think people connected to my writing when I started writing online. Because I would say things that my dad would feel uncomfortable about, not like secrets, not like family secrets, more like things that people were like, "Are you sure you want to talk about that? Like that's too personal." And that's the thing about my writing, as I'm thinking about it now, because I can write about myself, but I don't want to be selfish to the point where it seems like you're reading a journal. I want to bring a lesson that will help you. So I don't mind sharing my failures and my disappointments if there is something there that you can use. Now the fine line is keeping my story as my story without talking about other people who were involved in the story. I think that's the difficulty I've had in the past couple of years because my story became linked to someone else. And so telling my story almost always involved the other person. And I found it very uncomfortable to talk about things that I feel like the person should have had the responsibility to do it. And I recorded a video yesterday. Funny aside, I recorded a very strange reaction video yesterday. I actually want to edit this one because it's like an announcement / new topic that I'm bringing on the channel. But you'll see, it's recorded, I'll edit it, and it should be out by Monday. Yeah. All right, Jay, be honest. Tell people the stuff they all think about, but nobody ever says. Some people will be angry that you let out a secret, but most people will be grateful. If you aren't being honest, you aren't delivering value. Be the little boy in the emperor. The emperor wears no clothes. If you can't do this, don't write. I haven't read the book The Emperor Wears No Clothes, but I think the idea of the book was there was an emperor who, I don't know if it was crazy or if it was just being stupid, but people convinced him that not wearing clothes was okay. And he walked around not wearing clothes and was like, oh, the emperor has new clothes. And there was this one child who was like, no, emperor's naked. And people were like, no, don't say that or something. So you have to be the one to say the truth that people don't want to hear, right? Yep. Emerson, let me read your comment. Be honest is a good one. I'm not a writer, but when something is honest, things unravel, right? It's scary to be honest because people confuse honesty with, I guess, rudeness, where they just say things without filter. And you're just like, no, but I'm being honest, I'm being truthful. Like, why are you complaining about me telling you the truth? I think there's a difference between telling somebody something they don't want to hear in a way that makes them realize that you're not exactly enjoying it and just being blatant and bland about certain things. And I feel like the beauty of writing is when you're being honest in a way that shows that you've thought carefully about what you're saying, right? I don't know if that makes sense. It's something that it's something that you can enjoy when somebody does it. You can feel it, but it's not that easy. Yeah. Be cryptographic with your honesty, though. Yeah, if you give the room for people to interpret it, there's a fine line between being too vague and being vague enough that you engage the reader's imagination, right? It's a skill, and you only build that with writing a lot, reading a lot, and all those other things that I mentioned earlier. So yeah. And by the way, you say you're not a writer. I think everybody's a writer. I was telling Michael last week, we are all writers. Just have to put your pen to the paper and do it. Takes time. I mean, for me right now, I'm starting on this journey of repairing my writing. And I'm giving myself 6 months of daily writing to get to that point because I feel like I've lost, like, if my writing was a muscle, it has shrunk to the smallest size possible. So I have to work it out again and get back to it. So I really think you should not, you're a writer, you just don't know it yet. All right, let's see, is this on? Is this thing on? Yes, it's on. Okay, don't hurt anyone. You see, I like how he put be honest and don't hurt anyone right next to each other. It makes so much sense. This goes against the above rule, but I never like to hurt people, and I don't respect people who get page views by breaking this rule. Don't be a bad guy. Was Buddha a bad father? Addresses this. You'll be able to read the article later on. So you see, this is the thing. This is where my difficulty is. As much as I want to be honest about my writing and what I'm dealing with and how people can learn from it, I find it difficult to separate that honesty from hurting people. And until I find a way that is very healthy and polite and sustainable and still useful to the reader, it just stifles my writing. But look at the next point. It's like, you see, the way this article is written is a classic example of how to write well. This is not, it's not fiction. It's not like, a piece of literature that you see on the Wall Street Journal or something. But it's organized in a way that as you're reading the article, the things I'm thinking about just come up next. It's like it's answering my questions before I even think about it, because just you are reading, don't hurt anyone, right? And I was thinking about the fact that, yeah, I want to be honest, but I'm afraid of hurting people. Next post is, don't be afraid of what people think. Like, literally, it's like he just answers my question before I even think about it. For each single person you worry about, deduct 1% in quality from your writing. Everyone has deductions. I have to deduct about 10% right off the top. Maybe there's 10 people I'm worried about. Some of them are evil people. Some of them are people. So some of the people I just don't want to offend. So my writing is only about 90% of what it could be. But I think most people write at about 20% of what it could be. Believe it or not, clients, customers, friends, family will love you more if you're honest with them. We all have our boundaries, but try this. For the next 10 things you write, tell people something that nobody knows about you. Ooh, I need to come back to the comment section here. What do you guys think about this one? What do you think about this? What I just read. Let me go through it again. Just one. Don't be afraid of what people think. For each single person you worry about, deduct 1% in quality from your writing. Everyone has deductions. I have to deduct about 10% right off the bat. Maybe there's 10 people I'm worried about. Some of them are evil people, some of them are people. I just don't want to offend. So my writing is only about 90% of what it could be. But I think most people write about 20% of what it could be. Believe it or not, clients, customers, friends, family will love you more if you're honest about them. We all have our boundaries, but try this. For the next 10 things you write, tell people something that nobody knows about you. You know what I think? I think I needed to hear this. And I think this is why I transferred a lot of my energy from writing to making reaction videos, because I can be a lot more of myself in real time as I'm reacting to a video than with my writing, because with writing I can edit a lot of things out. I can rewrite things, I can think about them and be like, oh yeah, this person will think this person will think that, maybe I shouldn't say this, I'm not sure. So I can see how I was able to convert a lot of my fears in writing, because I'm way more honest in my writing than in my videos. I don't know. That's what I think. So yeah, I guess I'll need to figure out a way to tell people something that nobody knows about me. And I guess it sounds like exposure, like you're exposing yourself. I mean, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not an influencer. Why would I tell people things they don't know about me? I don't know. So on those points, I'm like, I need to think about that a little bit. Next one, be opinionated. Most people I know have strong opinions about at least one or two things. Write about those. Nobody cares about all the things you don't have strong opinions on. Barry Ritholtz told me the other day he doesn't start writing until he's angry about something. This is something that I've seen. A lot of the articles I've written when I was angry or having strong emotions. Like before I could get anyone out to do myself, one of the articles that one of my most read articles on Medium is about relationships. I wrote from a place of so much love that I can still, whenever I read it, I still feel the love coming out of the article. And there's one particular article that I haven't published. It was about immigration. There was something there about racism, something about my experience in the US. I'm still afraid to publish the article today because I was so angry when I wrote that article that I don't even want anybody to read it. And I think what he's saying here is true, because whenever I've said something that I held very strongly, whether it was relationships, immigration, whatever, something I believed in or something I was angry about, it's definitely happened. Yeah. That's one approach. Barry and I have had some great writing fights because sometimes we've been angry at each other. Man, I wish I could have some writing fights. But it means you need to have like a rival, somebody who can, keep up with you, where you will write something and they'll respond with writing. But most people, you write something and they'll come and put in the comment section and tell you how a terrible person you are. So, what do I know? Have a shocking title. This is one of my biggest difficulties. I think writing a title is something that I need to work on. I saw a video by Ayodeji Awosika where he was talking about practicing, writing 10 titles, 10 headlines every single day to build that headline writing muscle. And it's something that comes with practice. I blew it the other day. I wanted to title this piece, How I Torture Women, but I settled for I'm Guilty of Torture. I wimped out. But I have some other fun ones, like, is it bad I wanted my first kid to be aborted? Which the famous Howard Linton cautioned me against. Don't forget that you're competing against a trillion other pieces of content out there, so you need a title to draw people in, else you lose. I think the underlying assumption here, which James has put out, is that you're writing on the internet, but somebody will tell you, I'm writing for myself or for a book. You may not need some of these things. And I think the reason why James's advice works for me is because I write for the internet. And my friends Howard and Tchassa, who I mentioned earlier, are very literary writers. So they write for like long form fiction, contemporary magazines. So I guess a bunch of this advice will not work out for people like that, which is something I need to point out here because writing advice depends on what you're writing and who you're writing for. Because I'm sure a lot of people doing like MFAs or professors of literature will be like, this is nonsense. Like, don't listen to this person. He doesn't know anything. I would listen to him because he definitely falls in the category of kind of writing that I want to do. So before we even continue, just point out here, like if any of this advice doesn't sound like something I should be doing, don't do it. I don't think James is right. I don't think I am right. These are just ideas on how to become a better writer, depending on what kind of writing that you want to write. Does that make sense? Yeah. Ooh, Emerson says, I noticed if you follow these steps, you would naturally expand on what you can rely on to write. Right? Man, I've read this article multiple times, but it feels like I'm reading for the first time again. And as I'm discussing it with you, it's helping me. What is this? Nanda, yo. As I'm discussing with you, it's helping me really think about them because I have a daily newsletter. I think I've said it multiple times. I have a daily newsletter, and I'll be using that newsletter to actually practice these things because I'm not yet ready to write about some of these things on the internet yet. So it's going to be like this space where there are a few hundred people who I can write to and I can interact with, and I can build my niche audience. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, the link is going to be here. Let me see. Let me just do this. So let me take out this right here. So the link, this is the link. Like if you type bit.ly/Kamga newsletter, you will see where to sign up. Just put your email. It's free forever. You can subscribe anytime. I don't mind. But yeah, it's going to be doing this. I write every single day. After when I finish work every day, as tired as I am, I just sit there and I try to follow this, this ideas that I'm talking about. But yeah, let's continue with the article. Have a shocking title. I blew it the other day. Okay, we read that. Don't forget you're competing against trillion other pieces of content out there. So you need that to draw people in, else you lose. Oh, this one still. Let me show you something. So this is probably this is definitely going to be for another stream, but this is a book. Actually, there are 3 books. Let me pull up this thing so you can see. There are 3 books that maybe you can find online. Maybe you can see. Victor is in the building. Victor, let me finish this description and let you know I will talk about. I'll read your comment. So these are 3 books. I don't know if you can see them. You can. So this is upside down. So these books are by the same person. First one I see on top here, right? Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Next one is Show Your Work. Next is Keep Going. So when you just said still, I have a feeling that I'm going to use a quote from this book. This is it's a quick read. You can read this in one afternoon. And when I read this book the first time, it really made me understand the idea of remixes and using existing content and stuff, right? So yeah. Hey, Abba, welcome. Let's go to the comment section for a bit. Welcome here. Good to have you, my friend. Guess I joined Michael. Michael has been eating popcorn here alone and getting gems. So it's good to have you guys. Thank you for showing up. Victor is in the house. Wow, still don't get the timing right. I keep thinking 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Am I too late or very late? Am I too late or very late? You're late. Not too late because we still have. I actually want to go through all this article because I'm using it for myself to also pick up my writing. I really have to get better at writing. Like, as much as I'm making this video and thinking I'm teaching somebody how to do it, this is mostly for me. I have a lot of work to do when it comes to my own writing. I feel like I've depended so much on just my talent and not actually worked it as a skill. And so I decided to do a daily practice. Like, I don't care how I feel. I don't care what is going on in my life. I am going to get better at writing by writing every single day. So this article is for me as much as it is for you. So you're not that late, right, Victor? We're going to go through, I will share the link to the article here. You can be able to read it on your own and you see what it was all about. Oh, so the 33 tips of being a better writer. I don't know what letter this one is, but I don't quite mean it literally, still. But if you know a topic that gets page views and you aren't hurting anyone, then steal it, no matter who's written about it or how many times you've written about it before. Ooh. I never thought about this one. Because if I understand it well, it means that I can go and check. Actually, it makes sense. Even a lot of people who advise people to write on Medium, first of all, they tell you this: when you start writing, right, just write, just figure out, write, put out things, throw stuff on the wall, just see what works. When you have a lot, like you have a backlog of stories or videos, if you're doing YouTube videos. Now, when you see the videos that work, replicate them. Not necessarily like do the same videos, but what is the underlying theme? In my case, if you look at the channel, right, the channel sort of started picking up when I started doing reaction videos to Nigerian content and Ethiopian content. So what did I do? I doubled down on that. I still do what I want to do now. I still have ideas of what I want to do. I have nothing to do with that. But if I did not leverage that, I don't think I would have had an audience or grown the way I've grown in the past couple of months. And so this means that I need to keep analyzing my content, see my data, and deciding, okay, would I take this direction? Like I have a long list of music video reactions that I know for sure that once I do them, if I do them well, because it's not just about doing them. If I do them well and I learn from the things that work from the previous videos, then they'll work. So in this case, I'm like, if you get a topic that works, let's see here. Oh, I didn't share my screen. Sorry. I was talking to myself. Feels like I was talking to myself. What is this? What am I doing? I was thinking I was using OBS and pressing my shortcuts. What is this? You know what? Sorry about that. Let me get this thing working real quick. All right, cool. So this is about, still ideas. No matter who's written about it or how many times you've written about it before, how I screwed Yasser Arafat out of $2 million was able to nicely piggyback off of how amazingly popular Yasser Arafat was. I think that's probably self-explanatory. Now, this is the one that let's go through it. Make people cry. If you've ever been in love, you know how to cry. Bring readers to that moment when they were a child and all of life was in front of them, except for that one bittersweet moment. Something to my click. When everything began to change, if only that one moment could have lasted forever. Please let me go back in time right now to that moment, but now it's gone. I guess if I had to rewrite this or rephrase this, I would say make people feel something. Maybe not necessarily tragedy or sadness. Because I think we are all nostalgic beings. We like to think back to the time when things were different. In fact, we think back to the time when things were different to the point where we're going as far back as the time when we weren't even there. We read history books and man, Cameroon was so much better when this person was here. Look at what has happened. And we're not even present. I think we need to enjoy the nostalgic feeling of the fact that we can live in this virtual reality that we create in our minds. And for a fleeting moment, we can experience these feelings. And I think if you're able to do that in your writing, if you're able to paint a picture that allows people to travel in time, then you can win. I don't know. Maybe I'm just interpreting this thing too much. Let me see what you guys are saying about this. Oh yeah, nothing yet. So yeah, that's one. Make people cry. Next, relate to people. This is the one I lost when I traveled. Let me be honest with you. I think I'm probably going to write about this. The past decade has totally sucked. He wrote this thing when a long time ago. This article was a long time ago. The past decade has totally sucked for everyone. The country has been in post-traumatic stress syndrome since 9/11, and 2008 only made it worse. I've gone broke a few times during the decade, had a divorce, lost friendships, and have only survived barely by being persistent and knowing I had 2 kids to take care of and loneliness to fight. Yeah, that's rough. Putting all that together, that makes you realize you're not the only one who's going through some kind of things. Nobody's perfect. We're all trying. Show people how you are trying and struggling. Nobody expects you to be a superhero. This is a part about writing. I think it ties with the whole idea of being honest about your difficulty, because I'm going through a very difficult time now. I've said that multiple times because I'm trying to stay as big as possible. And I think that it's going to have to come out at some point. If not, it feels like it's just choking my neck and I'm just dying in silence with these difficulties. And I've started talking about it in my newsletter. I talked about it a couple of days ago and then yesterday. And I've had so much support from people reaching out and like, hey, come here, we can talk. We can if you need somebody to talk to, let me know. And yeah, it just feels really nice to know that you're not alone. And it's making me feel a little bit lighter. It's like I'm dropping some of the weight and feeling much better about it. but I know that I still have like a heavy load to drop out. And look at that. Time heals all wounds. Like this article is a perfect example of how to write a good article. Because the things I'm thinking about, he's just laying them out because I'm thinking about his difficulties and how, we are all suffering. And it's like, hey, time heals all wounds. Everyone has experiences that they don't want to write about. But with enough time, it's okay. I was literally thinking about this seconds ago. This is just eerie. My New Year's resolution in 1995 is pretty embarrassing, but whatever. It was 16 years ago. The longer back you go, the less you have to worry about what people think. Ooh. Maybe I start writing about my breakups again. Because it happened like at least, let me see, this is 2021. So my last breakup will be 20 what? 16? That's up to 10 years ago. I still have time. 5. Or is it S? Risk. Risk. Notice that almost all these rules are about about where the boundaries are. Most people play it too safe. When you're really risking something and the reader senses that, and they will sense it, then you know you're in good territory. If you aren't risking something, then I'm moving on. I know I'm on the right track. If after I post something, someone tweets, OMFG, I haven't reached that level yet. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. Guys, tell me in the comment section what you think. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I feel like the idea of writing your honest thoughts on the internet is not particularly African. It's like you don't even share your honest thoughts with your friends and family, but now you share with complete strangers on the internet. Like, who does that? You know? I don't know. I don't know. Be funny. Now that is a tall order. You can be all of the above and be funny at the same time. When I went to India, I was brutalized. When I went to India, I was brutalized for my first few yoga classes. Actually, every yoga class, and I was intimidated by everyone around me. They were like the yoga superheroes, and I felt like a fraud around them. So I cried, and hopefully people laughed. It was also a case. It was what is this? It was also a case where I didn't have to dig into my past, but I had an experience that was happening to me right then. How do you be funny, right? First rule of funny: ugly people are funny. Oh man, I miss James Altucher so much. I think I have to binge read him again to get back to that place of realizing that you can write in a simple way and still captivate people and still talk honest truths. I'm naturally ugly, so it's easy. Make yourself as ugly as possible. Nobody wants to read that you're beautiful and doing great. Nobody wants to read that you're beautiful and doing great in life. Like, make yourself as ugly as possible. Use the last line to go boom. Your article is meaningless unless the last line kills. Read the book of short stories, Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson. It's the only way to learn how to write a last line. The last line should take you all the way back to the first line and boom. Yeah. I don't know about the stories for which, for me, it's like one of those reasons why those stories don't relate to me, culturally speaking. But the last line is as important as in the movie, the last scene. If movies that stay with you are the movies that when you watch, for me anyway, when I watch them and the last scene, and you're like, man, what just happened? You have to sit there, you have to sit for a bit and just take it in. Yeah. Anyway, next one. If you don't have any comments, next one is use a lot of periods. Forget commas and semicolons. A period makes people pause. Your sentences should be strong enough that you want people to pause and think about it. This will also make your sentences shorter. Short sentences are good. And this is like the perfect paragraph. I mean, for me, this is the funny thing about writing. I love this kind of writing. It's not literary writing. Like, it's not like beautiful flowery words painting a perfect picture. For me, it's precise, it's scientific, it's very organized, it's very straight to the point, it's very logical, it's brief enough for me to get the point and to see. It's like I can hold it. I can hold the sentence in my hand. And a lot of the reason why I find it difficult to read fiction, especially African fiction, is that it's too flowery for me. Or maybe I haven't come across books that are good enough. It's so flowery that if I'm holding it, it's like I'm trying to hold water. And maybe the point is not holding it, it's just drinking it. But I'm trying to hold it. That's who I am. So I like this because I can hold it. I don't think what I'm saying makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Write every day. He said write a lot earlier. He said read a lot. Hey, This is a must. Writing is a spiritual practice. You're diving inside of yourself and cleaning out the toxins. If you don't do it every day, you lose the ability. 100%. 100%. I'm suffering from this right now because I didn't write for months. Or I will write and then stop and start and stop. And if you want to be a better writer, write every day. It's that simple. I mean, I've heard this, I've seen this and read this in many places. I know this, and just have to do it. Hence, sign up to my daily newsletter and encourage me to do it. All right. The more people sign up to it, the more I feel like writing because I'm like, people are waiting for me to write. If you do it every day, then slowly you will find out where all the toxins are and the cleaning can begin. That's why I give myself 6 months to get better at writing. Like when I say 6 months, is to get to a place where I feel comfortable with my writing skill. Because right now I feel like my writing is garbage. Like somebody might read it, I'm like, oh, this is good, this is great. But personally, I know that this is nonsense. Yeah, this is nonsense. What I'm writing these days is not. Write with the same voice you're talking. Man, my writing will be like 10,000 words. I mean, just listen to this live stream. I've been talking for almost an hour. But hey. Hey, Lorraine, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the comment. I feel like I'm. What's up? I'm going through this article by James Altucher about being a better writer from Michael's request from last week. And I'm also learning about writing myself and really thinking about what I want to write about, Yeah, welcome. Thank you for being here. We are almost at the end, actually. Write in the same voice you're talking. You spent your whole life learning how to communicate with that voice. Why change it when you communicate with text? I used to do this so well. I think I should do it now. I sound like I'm nostalgic about my old self. And I don't think that's something that is a good thing. Like you want to be improving your life and moving forward, not looking back and be like, man, I was so good at this. I was so good at this. No, I'm not. I don't think that's healthy. And if you're going through that, then there's probably something you need to work on. I think I have something you need to work on. When it comes to writing, I try now to be intentional about writing the way I speak and to just do my best. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Write the same voice you're speaking. This is what I'm saying. This cannot work. It probably can work with fiction, unless in the dialogue part of fiction where you can make somebody talk like that. But if you're describing, fantasy world, science fiction, I don't think this kind of writing is going to work. Maybe not. I don't know. Deliver value with every sentence. Ooh. This is like my dark horse. Am I using the phrase correctly? I feel sometimes like if I'm not going to say something useful, I don't put it up. That's why I use Facebook as my draft post. That's my draft folder. If I don't see something that can be wrote in the article, I don't put it on Facebook. If I don't have like a one-liner that is bouncing in my head a lot, I don't tweet. So even when I tweet on Facebook status update, deliver poetry and value with every word. Else, quiet, sit down, be humble. Really? That is interesting. Let me see here. Let me check that out. Audio. You are right. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. You pointed that out. I think you should be better now. Wow. I had no idea. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Appreciate you. This is nice. Yeah, I was speaking to this thing on the wall. So I love technology. Like, look at that. I had no idea what was happening. And I was sure I tested my mic when I logged in earlier. I was very certain that I did it. Oh, man. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. This is awesome. You see, this is why I need you in my life. I mean, when I say you, I mean like you plural. I would have no idea this was happening. I'll watch the stream later and be like, why is my audio so terrible? And then I'm like, oh, that's what happened. At least you pointed out before the end of the stream. So, Lorraine, you take MVP of today's stream. It used to be Mr. Christian Sajimbo, who is the president of the Friday live stream, but you've won the right to be the president of the Friday live streams. Yes. So thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, the sound quality was not the case. It wasn't as good because I just checked down and I saw that the audio was from my my webcam, not my actual camera. Michael says, I'm very glad you took the time to do this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Awesome. I'm enjoying it myself. I'm learning how to. I'm really this. I'll be thinking about this for the whole day, and by the end of today, when I'm done with work, when I'll be writing my newsletter, I will try to apply these things because I realize that I think so much in my head that it stops me from taking action. Maybe that's what I'll talk about today. We will see. When I write a good article, I always remember you, Kamga. Thank you, Lorraine. That is like a huge compliment. I feel like I still have a long way to go when it comes to writing because of the distance between where I could be and the people that I admire and myself. And sometimes it can get very discouraging. I mean, I'm not downplaying the compliment and the ability that I have to write. It's more like, it's like the goalpost is always moving. When I improve a little bit, I see somebody who is far ahead of me and I'm like, oh man, this is the sad part. The sad part about all of it is like, the sad part about all of it is that I forgot what I wanted to say. So let's go back. The sound quality is better now. Yes. Ever since you started using this mic, your videos sound much better. I need to buy a mic too. Yeah. Actually, I don't want to talk about it. It's not even a secret project. I'm working on a free email course. It's both email and video to help people want to start YouTube channels. And one of the emails has to do with gear. And I really think that people like Sean Cannell, Think Media and everything, if you have good audio and good lighting, the camera quality doesn't matter as much. But that's another live stream for another day. Let's talk about some other day. Yay, you have an award in your bed on today's live. Yes, you have the award. You're the president of the live stream. Next Friday, Mr. Christian you will have to fight for this award. I don't think he'll win it. It's yours until something else happens. So yeah, we're towards the end of the article. And by the way, if anybody wants to join and talk about these things when we're done, feel free to do it. I still have a couple of minutes here to finish this article and discuss the writing part of things. So let's move forward with that. It says, deliver poetry and value with every word, else be quiet. I think that's a pretty decent advice to take. Take what everyone thinks and explore the opposite. Oh. I need to think about it one a little bit. My mind just went to the idea of immigration. How everyone thinks that moving to America is the best thing that can happen to you. What is the opposite? Staying in Cameroon. How would that be? Because I know people who've stayed in Cameroon who are building, Lorraine, you're in Cameroon, you're building a future for yourself, you're doing YouTube, you're creating content. But that's just like a global idea that people already have many opinions on. So it's not that special. But anyway, let's see. Don't disagree just to disagree, right? But explore. Turn the world upside down. Guess what? There are people living in China. Plenty of times you'll find value where nobody else did. People living in China. It's like so obvious that most people don't think about the fact that people living in China or people living in Cameroon or in Tanzania or anywhere have lots of ideas. This is where James won my heart with his writing, because he talks about the idea machine. I think he's the one who invented the idea of how to become an idea machine. If you search that term, you'll probably find James Altucher. And he has his daily practice as well, writing 10 ideas every single day, no matter what. And it's something that I need to add to my own daily routine because I really need to get out of this writing rut. I need to get out. I discuss this in How to Be the Luckiest Man Alive in the daily practice section. Your idea muscle atrophies within days if you don't exercise it. Mine is probably already dead and deleted. Then what do? You need to exercise it every day until it hurts, else no ideas. Right? Let's see what Victor says here. Write every day. Write in the same voice you speak. I crack people up when I chat, drop comments or talk. And does it mean I will write comedy? Let me just continue as a reader, please. Victor, first of all, you teach history. So you have a lot of facts and you probably have a lot of way of connecting ideas that people will not see. So I do think that as a writer, you probably provide more value than as a reader. He also said read a lot. Everybody who writes reads. So maybe you're doing everybody a disservice by, keeping that talent. I don't think that's fair, Victor. I don't think that's fair that you're hiding from us your ability to be able to create beautiful poetry or literature or fiction based on the things that you know, both as a historian and as a commentator. So no. Right. I said it. I don't know. Sleep 8 hours a day. Now this one... Go to sleep before 9 p.m. Well, I can't. My job finishes at 10 p.m. and at least 4 days a week. Okay, at least 4 days a week. 4 days a week? Yeah, 4 days a week. And stretch while taking deep breaths before you write. We supposedly use only 5% of our brain. I've seen 5%, I've seen 10%, I've seen 15%. I don't know anymore. But clearly, we don't use all our brain, unless it's in a movie like Limitless. You need to use 6% at least to write better than everyone else. So make sure your brain is getting as much healthy oxygen as possible. Yeah, I don't feel any different. Too many people waste valuable writing or resting time by chattering until all hours of the night. I don't know how. There's nothing to add here. Sleep well, rest well, breathe well. You do right. Don't write if you're upset at someone. Ooh, this is my current problem with writing. This is a difficulty that I've had for months because I've been very upset. Don't write when you're upset at someone. Then the person you're upset about becomes your audience. You want to love and flirt with your audience so they can love you back. I need to get over myself very fast because my writing is suffering from my feelings. Use said instead of every other word. Don't use he suggested, he bellowed, just he said. We'll figure it out if he suggested something. Not only does that save time, but I feel like it's yeah. Hey brother, I'm African. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Supposed to having probably football practice. Yes. Is it every week or was just last week? I know the last time we were doing this stream, you were going for your son's practice. So welcome to the stream. We'll definitely read this book. Thanks, Kamga. Don't forget the link, please. Yes, it's an article actually. It's let me just put it right here, right now, so that if I forget, then I haven't forgotten. It's an article. To share it in here. Right. Oh, you're just leaving work. Awesome. I'm about to start work in like less than an hour, actually, about an hour. So yeah, just about to finish this stream, finish this article, and just have some comments on it. So we're at DD. Use settings of any other word. Paint or draw. You see, Victor, you don't have to be writing all the time. So some more advice. Create, exercise other creative muscles. F, let it sleep. Whatever you're working on, sleep on it. Then wake up, stretch, coffee, read, write, and look again. Rewrite. Take out every other sentence. Then take out every other sentence again. Or something like that. I guess this is the whole editing process of, take out every other sentence, take out every other sentence. Make it just, you're basically, what's the word in chemistry? Is it sieving, crystallizing? No, it's, can't think of the right word. It's a tip of my tongue. Is it refining? It's not refining. It's like a chemical engineering word. I've forgotten what the word is. Maybe somebody, where you reduce something to its smallest necessary components and you remove every impurity. Purify. I think it's purify. Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking for. Purify the writing to a point where whatever you hold is just the best version of what could have been. And let's see. Let's see how he finished this. He started telling the story with Sanket, going out and trying to get women, and he was always fading. And Sanket was telling him, your stories are too long, stop being boring. And so he completes now with Sanket didn't want to go to grad school after we graduated. He had another plan. Let's go to Thailand, he said, and become monks in a Buddhist monastery for a year. We can date Thai women whenever we aren't begging for food, he said. It will be great and we'll get life experience. It sounded good to me. But then he got accepted to the University of Wisconsin and got a PhD. Now he lives in India and works for for Oracle. And as for me, I don't know what the hell happened to me. That is James Altucher, ladies and gentlemen. He just, he said finish with the boom. And that's what he did. He finished with the boom. This article was written, when was this article written? I don't remember when this article was written. Yeah, I don't know. There's just one comment on this article? Are you serious? Anyway, we finished it. This is it. 33 unusual tips to being a better writer. I thought we were going to go through a couple of articles, but we've gotten through just, one. But I think that's more than enough. I feel like if you apply any single one of these or a couple of them, you should improve your writing. I know I will apply them. I know I have to apply them because I need to apply them in my life. And I'm looking forward to that. So Does anybody want to join me on the stream to talk a little bit about this and just bounce ideas? Or do you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about when it comes to like being a better writer? Curious to know your perspective on this. So let me know. So, Michael, was this useful? Victor, will you be able to start writing now that you know all these things? I'm curious. What is this? Technology keeps reminding me that I did not sleep well enough last night. So I was watching this movie. Actually, I'm waiting for this movie to come out. Since the day they announced it, called Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder, as director of photography, and I think it was written by him too. I don't know, with Dave Bautista and a couple of other people. Waiting for it. Midnight passed. I think it was, and I finished work late, and I was like, yeah, I should go to bed. But then I was like, yeah, I wanted to watch this movie. Eventually, I gave in. Started watching it. 2-hour-long movie. I got towards the end of it and was left like 46 minutes. And I was like, yeah, come on, go to bed. So I went to bed. I woke up late. Also, because I was recording a video. I don't know if I said it earlier. I recorded a video that will change the world. No. A video that I think goes in a different direction from a lot of the content I do on the channel. It's still a reaction video. But it talks about a topic that I'm actually a little bit worried about. And I feel like I did not articulate my ideas very well. But I also just cannot try to record a video again. I just have to do it. I'll publish it and see what happens. So yeah. Yeah. You know, there's one thing that I'm learning, especially now at this stage in my life, or with things that are going on, is that you will if you can't allow yourself to be anyone's victim. Let me go into a very boring rant at this point. For a long time, I've always found an excuse about why things did not work out. Even when I was studying the stories about college and dropping out and restarting, at the back of my mind, I almost always felt like, yeah, if this would not have happened if my parents had let me do what I wanted to do. It's always as if I was blaming my parents for it. And I think I was feeling like they should have asked me what I wanted. They should have been more careful about what they were telling me to do and things like that. So I was it's like I pushed the blame on them. Like they'd made me do this. And there's been cases even when I got a job where the deal was not very good, or a boss that did not act the way I was expecting, or that changed over time. I was almost always like, oh yeah, they used me, or they said this thing, or they did this thing. I think I've reached a point with what has happened recently where I'm just done with that mentality. If something bad happens, it's my fault. I'm going to just take it. I'll figure it out. Because it's so much easier to accept that you played a role in something that went wrong and deal with it. Hey, I just popped in. Let me add you in here real quick. I see you're about to drive out. Are you ready? All right.
Hello, how are you?
Brother, I am good.
Just finishing work and
all right.
walk a bit, like 5 minutes to the car.
I see. Yeah.
And it's raining.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, it's raining. It's pouring down.
The last time it rained here, I got scared that the wind was going to blow out my windows, but yeah, looks like everything turned out okay.
It's been raining and it's been very windy as well. So.
Oh, that's okay. Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what you've talked about already. So
it's I was going to an article about how to become a better writer. So it's really through the point of writing like 33 points. I was going to each of them, seeing what I could learn and why I chose this particular article. I left a link just there so you can read it. It was really just about that. How to become a better writer. Yeah, it was just advice on how to become a better writer. So I was just giving this final rant about not being anyone's victim. So I was just getting out of topic here.
I just ask a question actually, if it's okay.
Yeah, of course.
This one is a very tricky question. How do you know that your writing is good enough?
You're right. It's a tricky question. I think you there's no concrete. Let me put it this way. There are many answers to that question, the way I'm looking at it. People can tell you that their writing is good enough, right? How do you know that your writing is good enough? If you take good enough, it's relative to who is reading it. You might think that your writing is garbage, but somebody else said, wow, this is so great, this is wonderful. So then you probably have like a self-esteem issue where you don't even know how good your writing is, and you're expecting other people to tell you. Also, you might think your writing is great, it's perfect, like I'm the best, but people tell you your writing is garbage. So is your writing not good enough? Then it depends who is reading the book, who is reading the article. So the perfect answer will be depends, but that'll be a cop out. That'll be a cop out. I think your writing is good enough. Yeah. When it achieves a goal.
I think. Oh, sorry.
When it achieves the goal that the writing was set for. For example, if you want to teach something, and your writing can teach something to somebody, I think it's good enough. If you want to share your story and it succeeds in sharing your story, so I guess how good your article is depending on the effect it has on the reader, and maybe on you as a writer. So yeah,
I'm just wondering what maybe also depend on the platform. So, say for example, if it's a platform where people give feedback to say like or love or whatever, maybe that gives you a little bit of indication that people like it, and then maybe if there is the opportunity to comment as well. So, but when it comes to like a blog, when you're not even really sure whether it's been shown or not, you understand what I mean? So maybe enough people haven't actually seen it. It's a bit difficult to be able to know whether it's good enough or not.
I guess it depends on like page views, right? If you have a platform that allows you to see like are people finding the article, are people reading it? There's so many factors that are going to it that I feel like there's no simple answer to that question. Because for example, let me say your writing is really good, right? But your headline is terrible. So nobody finds your story. And whoever finds the story is so happy about it, like, wow, this is such a great story. But because your headline was not good enough, when somebody searched on Google, the person saw like, oh, this is a crappy headline, I cannot read this. So I really think there's so many parts there. Like you can have a great clickbait article title, but then the content itself is not that good. So you can have people coming to read it, but how many people stay on the page? So how do you know your writing is good enough? It's almost a philosophical question because you would never know until you put it out there. Because an editor at a big publishing house can think that your writing is good, and just this one person can make you a millionaire or put you on the New York Times bestseller list. But then you, with your blog, you're sitting there writing all these things and nobody's reading it, and then you're wondering what's happening. So it's. I still go back to my division. Like, if your writing does what you was intended to do, then it's good enough. If you're writing to your family, right? Let me see, you're writing to your son, and your son can read the story and be like, "Oh my God, I get the message that my dad was trying to tell me," then it's good enough. I don't think it's the number of people read. I don't think it's it's a platform, but I'm thinking of the platform as not just the digital platform, as the reader. Like, is it the book? Is it the blog? Is it for your family? Is it for your committee at the office? Like, there are different kinds of writing. So it'll be good enough if the writing accomplishes the goal that it was set for.
So what are the? I'm going to have you read that the link you post. So just wondering, can you have a few words to say about some of the points raised?
Yeah. One thing that I mentioned there is the advice on that article really boils down to people who want to write on the internet. I think it's very, very niche down to people who want to write on the internet, who want to blog and want to write, I guess, personal development type stories. Because if you're writing fiction, I don't think that advice would help a lot. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't. There are ideas that I can work with, but directly speaking as a writer, so some of the things that he said, read a lot, write a lot, write 10 ideas a day, drink coffee, sleep 8 hours. But some of the things that really stood out was don't write when you're upset. Like if you're upset at someone, if you're upset at someone, don't write, because you'll be writing to that person, and you want to be writing out of love and to the audience. So, and things like explore the opposite of ideas. If everybody is saying one thing, look at the opposite, and don't just say it to be, to just make noise. Like, actually explore the opposite version of things. Think about it through and write it. And it says things like take out every other sentence. Take out the beginning paragraph, the last paragraph, He also said your last line needs to go like boom. So it has to be the last line on your post needs to put people in a position where like, wow. It has to tie into like the first, tie into whatever was said in the beginning, and provide value or stay quiet. Like you said, a lot of things in there. Like either whether it's a tweet, whether it's a Facebook post, whether it's even I guess even a YouTube description. You can either make sure you either provide value or you provide like poetry, like something beautiful, or you don't say anything. So he said a lot of things, and he also take a bowel movement every day. So it helps you to feel like you feel the weight to ride well. So he said a lot of things in there that I think together, if you pick up a few of them and add them, it can really give direction. And for me, what I'm going to do is, you want to say something?
I was going to say that some of the things I've been doing recently, where, as you know, by the way, I do have a blog. Some of the things I've been doing recently, my writing, my blog is mainly about investing in stock and share, side hustles, and also location around me. So which are just they are kind of like topics that I find really, because I used to have a blog before where I started based on like thinking about making money, you understand what I mean, and then looking at a topic that a lot of people will be looking for information about. So which was about kind of like back pain. So I thought, a lot of people will be looking for information about back pain, and then I had back pain at the time because I fell running on the hills.
Oh man!
But I really struggled to be able to write about it. And then I dropped before I then started. So my blog now, so it mainly about those three main things. Side hustle, because I was selling physical product on Amazon, which was a side hustle, and then I invested in stock and share, and then also places around me. So which I then find it really easier to write about those. And so like the side I've been doing a lot recently is about kind of like a location around me. So like the one I'm just writing on presently was the place where we used to live. We used to live in that location. We moved away, and that location has it's called Malvern Hills. So it's got a very lovely, beautiful landscape. And
do you take pictures of the place? Do you have pictures of the place?
So I kind of like writing about it, just put it under subheading. So I wrote about is Malvern a good place to live? So when you mention something about creating value, that's why that comes to my mind. So because I just thought there would be somebody that want to go and live in Malvern.
True.
And they're thinking, oh, is it really a nice place to live?
Yeah.
So and then I put it under some topic: house prices, crime rate, entertainment, the town center. I put all those topics first, and then wrote under them. So my writing, I still look at myself that my writing isn't really 100% great, but I have somebody that I do ask to kind of like edit for me. So I just write blah, 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 based on my normal experience, real life experience, and a little bit of research information. Well, I'm an investor graduate, so so I can do a little bit of research and write about it, and then pass it on to do all the grammar and whatever
editing.
So so it's kind of like just keep it simple, really, not anything too complicated.
I really think you're going to benefit from reading the article with James, because as you were talking, I realized how much myself I need to learn how to do these things, because I don't consider myself a good writer, not because I'm trying to be like humble brag. It's more like I haven't practiced enough to feel like I'm capable of doing it. So if it's like a runner, right? You know when your performance, how much you can run, and you know your limits, and the more you push yourself, the more you're a runner, so I'm sure you know that if you're not practicing regularly, at some point you will not have the stamina to go like 10 miles or how many miles you want to run.
Sure.
So as a writer, you have to be able to practice on a daily basis, because at some points that you might want to say something, and if you don't have the vocabulary, if you don't have the stamina, if you don't have the discipline to sit and say it, then it gets difficult. So when you say that you've been blogging for this, how long have you been blogging on? How was the longest time that you've spent on any single topic or single, like the Malvis, the neighborhood you're talking about? What was the longest time that you spent writing only about that, for example?
Oh, Right. So it does take me. It usually take me about a week. Sometimes it takes me longer, and for the reason it's just simply because there are a lot of as you know, I mean, there are a lot of things on my plate. So which are we? I mean, as I'm in the car, and I separate, I take the kids for swimming.
Yeah.
And nowadays they don't allow us to stay. You just drop them off and go out because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, but if it's a time to watch, I mean, I still like to enjoy and see what how the. So, but now, so I will go back to the car and then I can just pick on my phone and start writing,
There you
and
go.
then I will then go back to kind of like paste it on the blog. So, like say for example, I can write about what are the so what are the kind of like entertainment and whatever places to go, or for fitness and all of those
Yeah.
in that particular area, so I can just write about that.
Do you generate ideas on a daily basis? Like, do you have like an idea bank where you can always go and just find ideas and get them?
Yes, I do. So on my phone again, so I have a place where I have for blog, and then
I mean, what I'm saying is like,
well.
do you
So
have like
when
a daily practice of actually sitting down? Okay, I'm going to write ideas, just ideas, not
Yeah.
like articles.
I tell you what, something that came to my mind not too long ago. So just tied to the question you had. So I realized that sometimes I take too long to finish one particular article, and then I thought, what about if I am a professional journalist, and then there is a news that just break out,
Right?
and then I have to write about it in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Or in half an hour or something.
But
like
here's
that.
the thing. You don't see the experience that the professional journalist has had for the past 10 years to get to the point where they can do it in 1 hour. Because the difficulty that we have as writers, usually we ignore the amount of actual work. I feel like we rely so much on talent and inspiration. We forget about sitting there when you have no ideas and still writing 1,000 words, knowing that those 1,000 words are nonsense, and practicing. I know this because of what I do. Like, I want to just feel the words as they come out and they flow from heaven into my brain. But the fact is that in order to build a writing practice, you have to sit there every day and write things that you don't like until you start being able to identify, okay, oh, this is good, this is not good. And you also have to read a lot, because the more you read the kind of writing, like good quality writing, it transfers itself to you. So if you're not reading and practicing on a daily basis, it takes a while. And for example, for me, I know that it would take me at least 6 months of daily writing before I get to a place where I'm sort of okay with my writing. And it would take me at least 5 years before I can say that, okay, I can become a full-time writer. So it takes time. It takes a lot of time of daily putting down, doing the work. So if you're a father, you have a full-time job and you're doing all this hustle, it's difficult. it's very difficult. So you have to decide where you put the energy and how, and if it's that important, because I think not everything has equal importance in life. So if it's working for you and you're like, you know what, my blog is okay, I'm able to write what I want to write, I don't need to improve this. It's like it's like somebody who is not a model who's trying to walk well. You're like, what's the point? Like, why are you trying to walk? Just take your legs and go to where you have to go to. You don't need to become a professional model because you want to be able to walk in the streets and go to, I don't know, the store. So yeah. So I guess it depends. If it's something that you want to do, then you have to make the time to do it. I know, because I don't want to become a dancer. You will never see me practicing to dance, like ever. But when it comes to writing, I will wake up early, I will sleep late, I will read, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. So it's a lifetime dedication.
I think writing, I think it's kind of like it's something enjoyable and something evergreen as well, that you understand what I mean. So say you are a dancer, you will get to a point when you might not really be able to, the strength might not be enough, your strength might not be able to cope with it. Or you understand. So, but writing, for example, I mean, it doesn't really matter what age you are.
I mean, you could be blind. You have arthritis, you cannot type.
You are still you still be able to, you're still going to be able to write, whatever age. So I think that's one of the reasons why I just like I mean, there was a time last year when I was almost going to give up on my blog, like I'm not going to do this blog thing again. And then I read the turnaround for me. I read that book about, I'm sure, you read it or you must have seen that book.
Maybe not.
Share Your Work.
Share your this.
Yeah.
Is it this one?
Yeah, wow. So I got So I read that book, and that was a turnaround for me. Like it's just like my home on the internet. So and
Yeah.
then I kind of like, oh
That's the
yeah, I'm not
spirit.
going to give up. So I'm just going to
That's the
be
spirit.
doing it and not put myself under any pressure and just do it.
100%. I agree with you, because for me, as much as I love writing, I also know that I've been lazy with my practice. Like, I have to step up the game. If not, I'll just say, oh, I had potential. I don't care about potential anymore. I'm tired of having potential as a writer. I want to actually write and be a writer. Like, the idea of, oh, you're so talented, I don't care anymore. I'm tired. And for me to get through that phase, I have to do the work. So I have to just accept that, you know what, it doesn't matter how I feel. I'll sit there, I'll write, and people on, like, my newsletter is there. I have like 200. Somebody unsubscribed today, and I was like, man, I feel so sad, because I actually said in my first letter, like, hey, I'm going to be writing every day. If this is too much, feel free to leave. And I was hoping that nobody would leave, but somebody left. So now I'm like, okay, I guess I really have to make it worthwhile for those who stay. And so that's the kind of practice that is required. And yeah, it's a daily practice forever. Yep.
Right. Okay. So let me leave you for now.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
good,
going to.
Good time talking to you. Mate.
Thank you, Ade. Thank you so much. Have a great
rest of the day.
Thank you. You too. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was my good friend, I Am African, hanging out here. The stream is ending because it sort of ended hours ago. And everybody just disappeared. Where's everybody? Michael. But anyway, Liz, thank you for hanging out. Loved having you. You came in on the stream and we talked a little bit. Appreciate that. Michael, I'm sure you're busy. Probably hanging out with things. Emerson came and disappeared. Emerson. I'm not a writer, but when something is honest, things unravel. I think you're a writer. I'll repeat that again. Abba, I'm sure you're just watching silently in the background. Or maybe you're watching the replay. Who knows? Victor, we've talked about this. Right. More, because you're a writer. Right. Thank you, Lorraine. It means a lot to me. And thank you for the tip. You're the president of the Friday live stream. So I really appreciate you coming here and helping me fix this stream. I would never have known if you didn't point it out. So I guess for like half of my stream, people were like, what is happening to the audio? And then it will suddenly get fixed thanks to you. So, all right. This has been a nice conversation. Went longer than I was expecting. I started working a few minutes. So thank you for hanging out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I do essays, reactions, and reviews. My name is Kamga. I'm a Cameroonian, currently live in the US. And working on being a better writer. My newsletter is here. Here. This is my newsletter. You can click there, sign up. I send an email every single day, and I'm working on doing that for a long time. Probably for the rest of my life. We'll see if I can keep it up. I actually want to keep it up because I want to become a better writer. And thank you for hanging out, for watching this if you're watching the live stream. I will see you in the next one. I really believe that while there's life, there's hope. Because you never know. Like when you're down, you can go back up, and you should definitely do your best and let God take care of the rest. Because as human beings, there's only so much you can do. You're in control of a lot of things. That's true. Like you can change lives, you can work on yourself, you can improve things. And I think that when you focus on what you can handle, what you're responsible for, when you take responsibility for your life, when you take ownership for things that happen and change the things that happen to you as things that happen for you, it's not that things get easier. I don't think things get easier. I think things change perspective, and then you're able to detach yourself from the occurrences and make smarter and more informed decisions and look at a long-term goal. Like if right now, for example, you're going through a difficult time like I am, I'm dealing with a separation, divorce, basically. If you are not capable of looking at it from, okay, you know what, this is tough, this is hard right now, this is very difficult, and I have to find a way not to ignore it, not to suppress the emotions, not to like forget about it. You have to find a way to deal with it in a healthy, sustainable, long-term way. I think having perspective about the long term and doing your best and letting God handle the rest is like the most eco-friendly way to deal with things, because you cannot just suppress them. I'm so against suppressing emotions and ignoring them. I don't think it's healthy in any way. I have a harder time processing I have a harder time communicating my emotions generally. But I feel them. I think like you feel things. And if you're going through a difficult time right now, don't try to ignore it. Find a way to work around it. Like whether it's journaling, talking to a therapist, talking to a friend, just don't ignore your feelings. You don't have to act on them. You don't have to break things. You don't have to, quit your job. But don't ignore them. Yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. See you in the next one.